see. All right, looks like we are up on both of these things. YouTube is getting a signal. And Amazon is live in 3, 2, 1. So let's see how, okay, it's starting to look okay. Let me check my audio. I'm going to listen to my own thing here. Hang on. That sounds good. All right. Okay, so folks, what I am experimenting with tonight is Vmix, which is a video production suite. It's a software package, and I've been evaluating it. I'm on the trial plan, and I am very much considering likely paying for it because I have been very impressed with this. My trial expires on May 8th, so I've got another month or so here. And I'm doing an interview tomorrow for the wrap-up. We're going to have a special wrap-up this week. And so I'm setting up Vmix because I'm curious if I could run my channel through Vmix because my TriCaster is getting old. I was considering buying a new one, but there's some bugs that are popping up in the current version of the software, and I'm not confident that spending all that money is going to be a good return. And I've been playing around with Vmix a lot, and I've been very impressed with it. The stability is like rock solid. So that is why I'm interested in this. And we've got some people here. Arif is here, D. Johnson, Eddie, who uses Vmix. Baris Kaya is here. Eddie moved to it from OBS. Yeah, I was playing with OBS, and a friend of mine is in the business of live streaming, and he's like, dude, you gotta try Vmix. It's so awesome. And I did, and I'm like, holy mackerel, this is great. So what I've done so far, I just have and I've been using it, so I know how to use it. But for tonight's stream, so far, all I have is just me up, but we're going to be adding, I'm gonna try to add 2 more cameras, and then we're gonna try to bring in a caller as well, have somebody come in on the phone. So with Vmix Call. So Vmix has its own software to bring in people for interviews. It's called Vmix Call. And it's like a lightweight Skype kind of thing where you send them a link and they come in with their browser. So there's no software, there's no complexity, it just works. Now the kicker here is I'm gonna try to do, and I did this the other night also, I'm going to try to run everything over NDI because my interest in the new TriCaster was the fact that it does everything over NDI. I need a haircut. And I want to see if I can replicate, for my purposes, everything here on Vmix. Now, I'm running it tonight on my Lenovo gaming laptop. This has got the 2080 Max-Q GPU. And right now, we're streaming out at 1080p. The fan is not even on the laptop. That's how powerful this laptop is. It's like, stream one thing, no problem. And we're doing it over NDI. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in additional cameras. I'm going to actually bring in a new input here so I can show you what I'm doing as I set things up. Because for tomorrow, I'm going to have 1 or 2 people on the call with me. So we're going to kind of plan for some of the stuff there. So I just need to find, and then I'll show you what I'm doing as I'm adding things to the mix here, because we can add, I believe I can add my computer screen here. Let's take a look. PowerPoint, color, audio input, video call. I think there's an option here for image sequence, image, photos, PowerPoint. I want to add my desktop to the mix. Oh, desktop capture. Okay, so I can do local desktop capture. And we're going to go on display 1. Oh, I can actually bring in Vmix itself. Let's try that. And I have different capture methods. So we'll do the default. So let's bring in Vmix and hit OK here. Oh, OK, that just brought in one part of the Vmix, so we need to change that. So let me just change this real quick. I'm just trying to show you what I'm working on here. So we're going to change. And we're going to go local desktop capture. So I'm going to bring in the entire display. And that way you can see what I'm working on. Whoa, okay, that's going to get funky. So because I've got this thing kind of loaded up here, so what I'm going to do is add another input, and we're just going to call this like a blank one so things don't get all funky. All right, so I'm going to just cue that up. All right, cool. So now if I go to desktop capture here, I'm just going to cut that, and then you can see what I've got on screen here as I add things to the mix. So next item is we're going to add another camera. And I think what I'll do is I'll add my camera that's over next to me here. Now to bring that in, and again, we're going to be totally NDI. So right now, on my computer here, we are bringing in this camera, the one you're seeing me at, with an NDI box from BirdDog. I'll show you what it looks like in a second after I get everything hooked up. And the next camera, because I only have one BirdDog device, so the next camera I'm going to bring in here with my NewTek Connect Spark. And this box is similar to the BirdDog, except the image is compressed on this. So this is going to come in at like 12 megabits per second or so, and it uses like some H.264 compression. So ideally for the future, I'll probably get another BirdDog device or another NewTek device, because those do not compress the image. But for most things, this is fine. Like on this stream, you won't notice the difference. And what I'm going to do, actually I already got one plugged in, so I'm going to hook up to the other one here real quick, and I'll show you what the process is for adding a new camera. So I've got two of these Connect Sparks right now. I use them as little scalers. They're great for bringing in other devices and stuff. And the best way to use them is over Ethernet, because that is the most reliable. And let me just find camera 2's HDMI. There it is. Okay. And we're going to try not to destroy the set here while I'm working on everything. But in my experimentation with OBS over the last couple of days, I've been really impressed. I'm sorry, with Vmix, excuse me. I've been really impressed with how it's been working. And you may have seen the thing we did with Smoke Monster the other day, which actually came up this morning. And that, I had 5 NDI inputs going into the laptop. No capture at all. It was amazing how nice it worked. So yeah, it's good stuff. All right, we've got some folks here who've joined the call. Emil has been using Vmix since 2012. So I'm continually amazed by the stability of it. That's been really great for me, because I don't want to knock OBS, because I think OBS is equally powerful and very useful, but I found the consistency from one boot or update to the next isn't always good, and sometimes it's good just to pay for something to make sure it's going to work correctly. Amda Brown is here. Gary Lawrence, Flood of Sins. Eddie says the NDI quality seems bad. You only tried it once. I think it's going to depend on what devices you're using with NDI to bring it in. Matt Green wants to know my audio setup. That's the one struggle that I have right now. I'm using a Sennheiser AVX system, and I've got their cardioid mic here. The room here isn't noisy, but I've got the air handler going over there, so I wanted something that isolates. But I've not been overall pleased with the audio quality, primarily because I'm using very small microphones. So a lot of other YouTubers have like that big desktop mic they have in front of them, but I like to have my hands free, and I like a lavalier. And I'm going to next start looking at other lavs just to see what might work better in the studio environment. But I'll tell you, the Sennheiser AVX system for what I do is superb, especially when we go out to shows. I have the stick mic, and it's never failed me, ever. I mean, it's just super rock solid. So that's that. Yeah, this hat, by the way, I did not buy this. I was at a SpaceX launch, and they gave it out as swag at one of the launches I was at. And it's been well worn. Now you can buy them. They're available. And the Maryland sweatshirt was like a friend of the family gave this to me. I have no connection to Maryland beyond the fact that I know somebody that went there. So Gary Lawrence, let's see who else we got here. Mike Travis Rhodes is here, welcome. Mike Mallette, also a big fan of Vmix. Aaron Johnson, sounds like Vmix is a great product. Tech Flood, hello. Gunboo likes the sound of my audio. By the way, just because we're using Vmix doesn't mean Comcast is still going to be bad. So we're going to have some streaming problems here and there. By the way, I have a link in the description to my feed on Amazon. So if I can't maintain the bandwidth to YouTube, we'll just stick to Amazon for this. So just be on the lookout for that. But any streaming issues are not Vmix's problem right now. It's Comcast. Gunbu likes the sound of my audio. Great. I just want a little bit more like volume to my sound. Not loudness, but I like some depth to it, which I don't get. Matt Green says, I inspired him to start following space news. That's great. I'm glad. I don't get a lot of traffic on the space stuff, but it's good to see that people like it. And we'll see how the whole pandemic thing is playing out, but I would love to get down to the launch of the astronauts next month. But if not, we'll do a live stream from here about it because I'm really into that. Jason Jones says, everything sounds good. The video and audio sound good. Excellent. Ed Horn is here as well. All right, so let me cut over to here. And what we're going to do next is we are going to add another NDI camera. And what I can do to do that is go over here to add input in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Hopefully you all see that. Let me hit the live thing here and see what it looks like for all of you. There we go. Okay. And just so you all know, we're having, YouTube is reporting my video streaming output bandwidth is low. So we might have some streaming issues. But even like switching back and forth, like look how clean that cut is. It's like just as good as my TriCaster is, I think. I don't see any real issues here as I'm playing around with it. The video looks good too. I'm looking at it on my computer. This is using the NVIDIA encoder, by the way, from my understanding. TechFlood wants to know my connection speed with Comcast. They give me 12 megabits, and that is it. And I've been trying to pay for more. They just don't want to take my money. I don't know what's wrong with these people. All right, so we're going to add another camera. And because our second camera here is on NDI, let me just make sure I turned it on. It is on. We're going to go over to the NDI desktop capture. And here is the NewTek Connect device. And there it is. I can hit OK. And now we have, hopefully, camera 2. Hello. See? And what I'll do here is zoom this out a little bit so I can show you some of the stuff that we are bringing in here. So there is my gaming laptop. Now they recommend for hardware with Vmix that you have like a NVIDIA GPU. But I'll tell you what, like a gaming laptop, you could get, I just have one on the Amazon feed I just selected just because that's the only one that I can find in stock. There's like an $800 HP with a 1050 Ti GPU. They really like the NVIDIA GPUs. So here we've got now a desktop capture, 2 NDI cameras, and our GPU memory is 10% utilized, and we're only about 12% utilized system-wide right now to do what we're doing here. So I think that's pretty good. And then it gets better because we're going to start doing some crazy stuff with overlays and some other things too. So I could bring in a third camera if I wanted to. What I wanted to do first, though, was show you the other NDI box I'm using. So let me just cut to that other camera here. And this is the Bird Dog. Now, these things are not inexpensive. So this is about $495 right now on Amazon. And that's like par for the course for NDI capture. But what I've got here is HDMI coming in from the camera. And then this Ethernet cable coming into it is what's sending that video out over the network. So when you see, I'll pull up my face here, and you can do some fades here. Isn't that cool? So when you see me here, this is not direct capture. This is going into this box and being pushed out over the network via NDI. The same thing with the other camera. We're not using a Bird Dog device for that. We're using one made by NewTek here. Again, this is the Spark. The Connect Spark, and these are very similar except that there is some image compression. You're not going to notice it on the stream, and actually the image quality out of the Sparks is very good, but the Sparks use a lot less bandwidth, so you can get away with Wi-Fi in some circumstances, provided the Wi-Fi is not too saturated. So, and I think those boxes cost about the same. I found that the NewTek Spark boxes are friendlier to game consoles and phones and other things. I found the Bird Dog, it's great quality when you have a camera connected to it. It doesn't compress the image at all. so it uses more bandwidth, but it gets a little funky with my game consoles and stuff. It will do a max of 1080p 60, and we're starting to see now a lot of 4K NDI boxes coming out from everybody too, so those have been working pretty well. In the Amazon chat, Keith M. Rice said he upgraded to the Comcast gig service, so he gets 35 upstream. Yeah, so I've been trying to get that, and they brought it into Connecticut like 2 years ago. And they never went beyond the first set of towns that they did. So I've been stuck at 12 forever. I can't even get the service. And what's funny is I complain on Twitter every once in a while. And then the customer service people like jump in, oh, we're going to get it for you. We've got all these options for you. And I say, no, you don't. And they go and look and they go through all this stuff. And sure enough, they don't have it because it ain't here. So unfortunately, that's the ropes. All right, so let's try to do one other thing here, because I want to bring in my Mac here, because I want to set up for the wrap-up tomorrow, because in addition to the interview that we're doing, we are going to be doing my usual weekly wrap-up show. And so for the wrap-up, we have a composited image of, we have my little thing that runs as a loop on the side. We've got me, and then we have the presentation that comes in from my Mac. And I think what I'm going to do just for now is use this other SparkBox for that. But I might try to find a way to do a desktop capture with NDI on the Mac, which might be easier. Matt Green wants to know what this remote is for. So this remote actually is a Logitech universal remote that I got a long time ago, I think through the Amazon Vine program. And I use it with my Orion TV that's in front of me, because I like to have a TV, the program image up below the camera, just so I can make sure as I'm talking to the camera, the right thing is on screen. So I use that. So let me just plug this other box in. I got to find a network cable that is free. So that one's going into there. So I got one, that black cable there is what I want. Okay, let's plug that in real quick. I've got Ethernet cables all over the place here. And all we're going to do is just connect it to the network. And then we're going to give it power. And even though we have another one of these on the network, it's going to know the difference because they all have their own identifiers. So we're just going to plug this one in. And I think I bought this other one used, because I bought one new one and then there were some used ones that I was able to find, so I didn't have to pay full price. And I bought them for another project and I was like, oh, this will happen. And then the project didn't happen and I was like, why did I buy these extra boxes? And now I am finding a lot of use for them. So I've been using multiple Spark boxes here for a while. Now it'll be fun after we bring in the laptop, it will be to see what the bandwidth is on the PC, because remember, all these video sources are coming in over the network. And by the way, if you see any kind of video lapses or anything and you're not happy with what you're seeing on YouTube, the Amazon link, I think, will be a little better. Okay, so now we have, my Mac is ready to go. And I'm just going to get it set up here. And so that video now is feeding into the NDI box. All right. So next thing we're going to do is add that Mac in. And it looks like my Comcast bandwidth is not cooperative this evening. I'm getting warnings on all of my displays about streaming problems. So this will be one of those nights because of my connection that doesn't work very well. All right, so now we're going to add another input here. And let me cut to the camera so you can see, or the capture so you can see what I'm doing. So let's cut to that. And we are going to bring in, on the input screen here, another NDI source. And now we can see we've got this Spark, and now we've got the second Spark. So we're going to add that. And now we've got that one. I wonder if I can move this over here. Can I move these? Let's see. Yep, I can move those. Okay, so I'll move those over there. So right now we have essentially 4 sources of video. We have me, we have the desktop capture, we have the camera 2, and then we have the NDI output from from here, and you can see my connection not being cooperative. And we got some more questions here. Eric Hardy, thank you for the kind words. Travis Rhodes says, that's why his live streams are capped to 720p. The struggle is real, my friends, for sure. And Fofo Lanescu1 is in Romania. He pays $6.76 US for 300 megabits per second. That's crazy. And you can get a gig for $8.90. I pay like $100 a month for the service I have here. Eric Chugs just popped over to Amazon, says the stream is much better there, so definitely check it out. What I might start doing is using one of those multicast deals to see if that might work better. Okay, so now we've got this image up here. So the next thing I want to do, I'm going to use this one here to make this, is we're going to make a little multi-panel thing. So if you click on the gear icon, and by the way, the computer fan is finally coming on now that we've got all these sources here. By the way, let's take a look at network bandwidth for the heck of it. So if we go in and go to network, and by the way, I have not optimized this computer, so it needs, I still have like Steam and all this other stuff running on it. So we're using about 100 megabits of network right now for everything, which isn't bad. So that includes, camera 1 and the 2 Spark boxes plus whatever I'm using to stream out. All right, so now we're going to go over here and we're going to go to multi-view. And so you have some like pre-made ones, which are pretty helpful because if you just want to do a couple of boxes or something, you can do that. But look how many things you can stack up together. Isn't this crazy? So what I'm going to start with, and I've got to be careful about the order of things because they have a priority and I forget how it generally goes. But let's start as the base. We'll start with my camera. And then for the second image, I've got to add another source. So let's close this for 1 second. And we're going to add a video file. So let me find that real quick. It's under video. Let's see, instant replay image sequence stinger, photos, images. There's a way to queue up videos and they can just kind of play on here. Let me find it. Image sequence stinger, image, let's see. There it is, videos. I was looking at it right here. So let me add my looping background. I may have to go out and find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's the one I use for my loop that I use. So I'm going to hit OK. And we're going to let that loop and play. So you can see now that that's going there. And by the way, we're still doing pretty good on the computer. We're about 22% utilized right now with all this stuff running here. And now I'm going to go back to that multi-view we're setting up. And we're going to add in the looping video. Now, I don't want this taking up the whole screen. So if I click on position, I can move it over to the side like over here, which is how we usually do my show, right? And then, because I want to maybe move myself over a little bit, we'll go and hit overlay 1 and just move me over. Isn't this cool? And just got to get it positioned in the right spot. And again, I'm going to kind of tweak this as we go, but all right, so that looks good to me. Let's get it better positioned here. So I think I want to reset that. That'll keep it. So reset the Y, and that'll get us in the right spot. So overlay 2 will reset the Y. We're at 0 already, so we're perfect. Okay, so now I want to add my box that goes right there. And so we're going to go back to multi-view, and we're going to go to 3. And then we're going to add the computer. And yes, Brian, we are live right now. Oh, Gio asked a question about SRT, and that was something I just started playing with. SRT allows you to bring in remote cameras over the internet. So you can, it's kind of like NDI, but over the internet. So I could have somebody on a phone reporting from the field, and we could bring them in with SRT. It's a format that's a little better than RTMP for that kind of stuff. I just started playing with it. I got an app that I was messing with that looks pretty promising, so I'm probably going to start doing more with that. All right, so now I want this whole, I don't want to crop any of this, so I'm going to just zoom this out a little bit. And then we're going to stick it over here like it is usually on the wrap-up. And that's a little bit too big, so I'm going to zoom it down just a tad more. And just kind of position it like so. And then I can just move my chair over a little bit here. And what I might do is pull up the wrap-up. So let's load that up real quick. Aaron Johnson wants to know, does Vmix have free options for customizing the virtual backgrounds? I think there are some things that do that. I'll have to look. Because I did see in some of the videos I was watching this weekend where they were doing that. And MG4 wants to know, is Vmix compatible or comparable to OBS? Yes, I would say, I don't want to say one is better than the other because I think it varies based on what you're doing specifically. But for me, it is better than OBS. All right, so that looks a little bigger than it normally looks on the show. So I'm just going to zoom it out, zoom it down slightly here and just position it. And so now with a laptop, we have replicated what we usually do with my TriCaster. Isn't that crazy? It's working, done. And I could do our usual thing here. Get a little sneak peek of the wrap-up. We're going to have a special wrap-up this week, which is going to be all about antibody testing. So it's going to be a fun, I have an interview scheduled for the morning. And that's what prompted me to do this now, because I want to get this working so by the time these guys are ready tomorrow, I'm as ready to go. All right, so we're good there. Boom. Now somebody asked about backgrounds, so let's take a look at backgrounds. Isn't this amazing? So we've got all this stuff going. Let me cut to this here. Boom. All right. So all of this, we are live streaming. We've got the computer's output there in the over there. We got the computer output going. We've got all this stuff, and we are about 20% utilized on this computer. That's amazing. But the thing just stopped. So let me hit play. All right, so now that's going. All right, and that should loop. So when it gets to the end of its thing there, it should loop. And so we're using a little, yeah, we're like 16, 17%. 20% GPU memory, so we've got plenty of room here to add more and do more stuff. So let's go to add an input. And the question was about pre-made backgrounds. There is a bunch of pre-made stuff. I think what you get varies based on what Vmix option you got. Because I did see they had a couple of things on the multi-viewer. Let's do another blank color here. Yeah, you know, I was watching their tutorial earlier, and they had like all these pre-made 2-up for calls. Because I'm going to do another one for the caller, because the white background can be a little distracting. And why is that stopping? Is it because I did something? Let's see. I said loop. Let's see if that stops. So it's on loop. Maybe because I went into something else. Let's see. So they have like these 2-ups. I must be missing something. So you know we're going to do that. We're going to add the call option. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to call we'll see if Doug's around. Let me text Doug. Brian Parker knows Doug. And Doug and I were just talking about this the other day. Yeah, actually this morning. So let me see if he's around. Are you around for a quick Vmix call test? You just need a Chrome browser on your computer. Okay. All right, so we're going to experiment with that. So it looks like that's looping now. I bet you that I did something that caused that to do something else. Yeah, Flood of Sins SRT is also a subtitle extension. That's correct. So they have some confusing language on that. Ed Horn says, Vmix does come with some virtual backgrounds. There are a few free ones available, and you can also use a 360 cam with it. That's pretty cool. Ed also says you can use VST FX to the audio. That would allow you to add compression and EQ. so yeah, this is, I'm really digging this because we've already now replicated my weekly wrap-up setup, and without any, and this is, by the way, there's no capture on this laptop. This is all NDI and desktop capture right now, which is awesome. Okay, so we're going to change this to a Vmix call. So let me just go get rid of this thing real quick. So we're going to close that one. Yeah, see, it's stopping. I don't know why it's stopping, even though I have it on loop. Let's go in here and see what's going on. General. All right, we'll keep playing with that. Everybody keep an eye on this, make sure it doesn't stop. And it could just be because I'm doing something that is triggering that pause. Oh, you know what it could be? No? Yeah, okay, it's me. So I set up a shortcut so the space bar does a cut, and I bet you that it's conflicting with, it's conflicting with the pause command. That's what's happening there. So I will deal with that later. Okay. All right, so now we're going to add a Vmix call. Oh, thank you, Brian Parker, for your super chat. That is very kind of you. I love those stickers. And Brian, if Doug's not around, maybe I can call you. So let me know. All right, so now let me just make this less busy for you so it doesn't look so crazy. We're going to now add an input, and we're going to go over to Vmix call. Where did that go? Video call. Okay, perfect. Now, I need to hide this from all of you because you're all going to call me. So let me, I don't mind talking to you folks, but you don't want to be on my stream if you don't want to be. So let me just see if I can do this in a way that, okay, so I can reset these. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Adele Mendani wants to know, what bitrate do I use? So right now, I am streaming out, so I'm streaming out to 2 services at the same time. So I am streaming to Amazon and to YouTube. So I'm doing 720p at 2.5 megabits to each. And what I might do is I might start looking at other options for sending out one stream and then have a service send it out to more. That might be what I end up doing there. All right, so Brian, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, I can reset this, so if one of you calls in, fine. I'm going to host a call. I'm going to copy this link so you can all see what I'm setting up here. So let's actually, all right, I'm going to show you how to set it up, and then I'm going to change the password so that I don't have any. I trust all of you, but who knows? I mean, one of the 64 watching could be going to want to, bomb my thing and get me kicked off the platform. Oh, this is good. Actually, Doug is around and Brian is around, so maybe we can try a 2-call scenario. That might work. So let me plug in my headphones real quick, and let's give this a shot. Okay. So I want to not hear my audio because it's going to throw me off. So let's see. There's so many dials on this thing. All right, so I can turn that down. That's volume for that. Let's go over to outputs. Hey. So many things. All right, we'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to kill audio on that. Yeah, I'm going to have to play with the headphones thing. Laji KGR, thank you very much for your super chat contribution. Much appreciated. And let me go and see if I can figure out one other thing here. Oh, and David Parker also, thank you very much for your super chats, everybody. And we have, Ed Horn says, I have great focus. Barely. I'm having a good day today. I got some sleep last night. I had a nice walk with the dog. Carlo Alberto, I just want to say hello. Hello to you as well, and he's from Italy. Hope everybody is getting healthier there. We've been very much thinking of you here in the U.S. for sure, because it's been very tragic time in Europe, for without question. All right, so we're going to add an input, and we're going to go to video call. And I've got to figure out how to disable part of the audio to my headphones, which I'll deal with in a minute. And this is how it configures. And then once I do this, the call will be ready to be hosted. And then you can connect to a call. So let's say that I wanted to be on somebody else's show. I could go and connect my output from there. What's cool about this is that you can select, and it depends on what level of service you're on, but I can choose what output they see. So for example, I could just have them see my camera, or I can have them see what is currently on screen. And you can configure what your outputs are in the output settings, which I have to do. So we haven't gotten to that yet. Now this is important here because if you have limited bandwidth as I do, this is the return feed. So what I would suggest is do something pretty minimal, especially if you're in the middle of a live stream. That's really critical. So because I have very limited bandwidth, as you all know. So I might just send out, let's see what my options are here. So I can send out 720p at 1.2 megabits. That's a little too much. So I think I might do like 500 at 360. So it's not going to look great to whoever's watching, but it should be decent enough. And the other thing is the audio source that they get is the master. So the question is, if they're getting master, does that mean that they will hear themselves talking? So I don't know if we'll have to see how that works. The last option here is for direct peer-to-peer connections. And what that means is that generally Vmix call is going to try to do a direct connection to the caller, but if they have to route through one of their servers, they will do that. That's what that means there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is let's bring in, if Brian is ready, maybe we'll bring Brian in first, and then we'll add Doug after that. So I'm going to cut back to me. I'm going to set up a call, and let's give this a shot and see what he hears. So we're going to reset the password here. I'm going to copy link. And Brian, I'm going to send you an email with that link. So let me do that real quick. So bear with me for 1 second here. And I'm sending it to your work address, Brian. All right, so we're going to send that out. Okay, so I'm going to hit, oops, oh no, did I kill it? No, it's still here. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to set this to be that 360p. Hit OK. All right, so now it's going to wait for his call. So you now have in your email there, Brian. So if you click on that, it should, you need to use the Chrome web browser, and that will bring you in, I think. And then I've got to build something around you on the call. So he is in the process of getting it going. Okay, so Ed Horn says he won't hear himself. Good. Excellent. And I've just got to figure out how to get my headphones to not have, oh, there he is. He's in already. Okay, so Brian, can you hear me? Okay, I don't hear Brian. Oh, I got to turn his audio on here. There we go. Okay. Here he is.
Turn my audio on, man.
This is great. You're in.
This is so cool. I am so
amazing.
Impressed by this.
All right.
So this is no TriCaster? This is all just software?
Just on the laptop.
Cameras?
That's it.
Wow.
So this is it. It's all in here. You are calling in through the internet, and you're on. And it looks good. Like, it looks really good.
That's really impressive.
And then if we bring in Doug with his fancy multi-gigabit connection that he has, Doug's got the fiber in that service now. So I just need to fix one thing because I don't want to hear my own voice in my headphones, and I don't know where to fix that. But maybe Ed Horn in the chat can help me because I don't want to hear myself. So he can help me with that. Okay, so now I've got to do a 2-up because I've got you and I want me together. So I'm going to pull back this screen, and I appreciate you doing this, Brian. And I'm going to add a multi-view. So let me do another multi-view. And I think for this thing, let's see here, multi-view. I got to do the color and then the multi-view. I may not be doing this correctly, but we'll see. If it works, it works. So color, okay there. Okay, just to get a blank input. And then I'm going to go here, and we're going to say multi-view. And so I think I want to have the background running. And then I'm going to do a 2. Okay, there we go. So I can do, so I'm going to have me. So let's bring me in here. It's the bird dog. And then I'm going to bring in you on position 2. And you are coming in on Brian. Okay. Oh. So did I add that? What did I do? Okay, so close that. And now we are multi-viewed. But I don't have a background, so I got to figure that out. So MG Fur is asking about if I got my TriCaster sorted since yesterday at the end of the stream. Yeah, it's working better now. But that was kind of the catalyst to start looking at, do I have a fallback in case it really is dying? The TriCaster, by the way, is not a bad product. It is awesome. I've had it. This one has been running nonstop for 5.5 years, and I think it's just having some issues. With age, it's been overworked and underpaid. Well, actually, it was adequate. It was adequately paid, but not. I'm just curious what this. If I bring in, okay, that goes on top. So, I think I understand this now. So let's say I have, no, okay, I see, that's what's doing. All right, so I got to figure out how to get a background to run behind this. But I guess what I could do, are you able to edit these things? Because I would love to have it be like in 3 and 4. I'll figure this part out. Oh, I see. There's maybe background. Safe area. Let's see. Thank you for being here, Brian. There's this little zoom thing. See all these different dials to push? That, like, you could push buttons all day long. And I could take you off. So I wonder. These are like presets. Because I could do something like that, or this, or that. Oh, I killed your audio. Hang on a second. No wonder why I can't hear you. Hang on, let me close this real quick. And I'll keep your audio on, and I have to set you so you don't follow. Okay.
Oh, don't follow so you don't hear echoes?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Yeah, so if I switch off of you, it doesn't go away there.
Okay.
And then here, check this out. So they have this other thing. So let's say I have you up here, and then I do that.
Okay.
They have this really cool thing called merge. Isn't that neat?
Very cool. It's like a transition.
That. Yeah. Now, what do you see on your end?
So on my end, I see everything's very granulated.
Okay. Because I'm transmitting very low bit rate to you. That's why.
Right. So like on the stream, though, because I still have my laptop in front of me, that's super crystal clear.
Okay.
But on this, it's very granulated, and I can't quite make out all the menu stuff, so I'm looking down below.
Right.
And I can see all that stuff. So the browser's open. It looks like, a Skype call. It looks like just a video. I have settings where I can have a picture-in-picture of myself and whatever the heck you're...
Oh, I just lost you. We just lost Brian. It was working so great. There he is.
Am I back?
You're back. Like you just disappeared for a second. It was bizarre. Hang on a
So
sec.
I still heard your audio, which was weird. I
Oh,
heard you
that's
say
weird.
we lost him.
Wonder what
Yeah,
happened. Was that
I don't
my end
know.
or your end? Huh. Okay, so I'm
Hard to
going to
say.
do. So somebody in the chat said I should do the virtual sets. So we're going to here. Let me pull this up so everybody can see that. And I'm going to cut back to this, and we're going to go to add, and then virtual set. Oh, I see. Okay, look at
Oh,
this.
that's cool.
So I could do this multi-diamond thing. And I guess I could build my own, because I'd love to have my own background looping behind that. So we'll see. Here's a multi-box thing. So let's hit that. All right. Oh, look at this. It's got all sorts of stuff. Okay, so I can go to setup, background. Oh, so layer, background, visible, export. I don't know. Let's see. Let me cue this up and see what we got here. So I have to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I got. Oh, I see. All right. So go me. Oh, that's okay. So I can get what I want in the background here. So I can get. I'm going to get my looping video. And I'm going to use the darker one because I don't like the way that looks, but I'll fix that in a minute. And then how do I select? So I've got 1 and 2. Setup, layer, background. Okay, here we go. Box 1. Input. Oh, okay. So perfect. Okay, got that. Box 1 is going to be me. And then box 2 is Brian. Oops, box 1 is me. And then I go to box 2, and that's going to be call Brian. Look at that. And then
That's pretty good.
boom. And now I can take.
So I saw that. Oh, I have to move over a little bit.
Yeah. I got to move people over.
So did I see you could do 9 calls on this, or were
You
there
have
just
9
9
layers.
boxes?
9 layers.
Wow,
There's
that's
a
a
lot
lot.
to this. There's a lot of stuff. And what I'm trying to do now is just figure out how I can get my voice off the headphones. I know there's a command somewhere, and I just got to figure it out. Channel mixer. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. All right. So now, perfect. So now, can you talk again, Brian?
Yep, I can talk. I can
Perfect.
talk all you
I
want.
got
I
it.
can just keep talking.
Good, I got it now. So this is it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I can go in here because I have different video options. So I have another file that I could put in here. So I can change this. I made a darker one, which is I think looks a little bit better. That looks better, I think.
So it's not so blasted out. Sure.
Yeah. And you can see there's some borders on those. So that's cool. So we were able to take the virtual set and then change it to my own background. And we haven't even gotten to like the lower thirds and all the other stuff. So what I could also do, if I
Wow, that's
pull,
cool.
yeah, if I pull your camera back up, I can go into add another input. And then here, let me pull up my screen so everybody can see what I'm working on here. So I can go back to here. And I'm going to save this actually. So I don't have to rebuild this in the morning. So we're going to call this weekly wrap up and just save that. And so now when I come back in, it's waiting for me. Okay.
Yeah, I remember when we used to have multiple calls, so we would have these sets essentially designated. We would have, 1 caller, or if we had 2 calls on there, we would say, OTH 2 caller.
Okay.
And then we would just kind of set it and boom, it would go up. So
Yeah, this is kind of the
that makes things way more convenient.
similar scenario. And now they have a bunch of like graphics and lower thirds that you can put on. So we can go in and add, let's see, where do they put those things? I'm still learning here, so I've got a title. Here we go. So they have a whole title selection.
Oh, those are
And
good ones.
There's some good ones in here. I mean, they're pretty well, put together. So you can do one with your logo in the background. They've got, and this is all part of the package. Like you get this. Here's an animated one, in and out. So let's do this. I'll select that one. And so now I can fill in. Okay, put your name in there, right? And we can say,
It's so
really,
pixelated I can't even read
oh,
it.
you can't see it. Yes, you might be able to see it on the stream on the stream side if you watch
Yeah.
the stream. All right, so we're in there, and I can then just close this because I think it's been programmed. All right, so now, oops, I hit the wrong button. Let me go back to here. So we're back to your image here. So if I do that, and then I can hit the thing, it pops
That's great.
the lower third up, and then if I hit it again, it goes away. So let me show everybody what I just did. So you'll see this above on the screen currently, because what you have on Vmix are these little numbers at the bottom, and those numbers will be an overlay. So if I hit 1, it will overlay that input on screen. And they have all these different like macros you can set up and scripts, so you can do that kind of stuff. But boom, just like that. So a question from the audience, Brian. They want to know what camera are you using? It is super sharp.
It's a Logitech. I can't read it because my eyes are so bad, but it's just a Logitech webcam.
Oh, that's, by the way, the Logitech webcams are great. People don't realize how good they are.
Let me look into your eyes.
Yeah.
It says
the C922 maybe?
10. Yeah, I literally can't. My eyes are just so bad. But it's not new.
Yeah, I've got one that's
I've
like
had
8
it
years old. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long ago it was that I was doing when you were twisting my arm about doing video stuff. So it's at least that long, that old. So it's probably 10
I'm a
years
bad
old.
influence, aren't I?
You are. I have so much money dumped into studio equipment. Oh my God.
All right,
But
so
this software is so cool.
I'm going to send Doug. I'm going to get Doug in now. So I'm going to add another call. Everybody saw we added the call already. So we're going to try a three-way video split here. So let me copy this link out, and he's going to get a similar thing. Hopefully I don't kill my upstream bandwidth here. And he's going to be waiting for our call now. So let me go, or we're waiting for his call. So let me hit the this link, and Doug is going to call us. So let me just send him a text, let him know we just sent the link. All right, and so he is going to be calling in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another virtual input or virtual set. Oh, that's right. Chad says you can also have it switch that overlay off automatically, so if you don't want to leave it on all the time. All right, so now we can replicate the cable news scenario. So I'm going to add a new input here. And let's go, we'll see what time Brian, when Doug calls in. So let me get back to this. So we're going to assign camera, box 1 is going to be me again. Box 2 will be you. Let's see, where'd it go? Brian call. And then box 3 is going to be the next call that comes in. Okay. So we're good to go here. So let me cut to this. And now we'll just wait for Doug to call us. And then Doug should magically appear in the third box. He's going to be right there.
I'm more concerned about my framing now because you look great. I'm just I plopped down into my.
Well, what's cool is that because I can send this back to you, I can instruct the guest to hey, can you position your thing in the right spot?
Sure. I know. And it seems every time I move my monitor, I always seem to turn off my monitor. I'm like, God, there's buttons on this thing everywhere.
Right. So
I'll just sit up really straight.
Steve Minnick has a good question that maybe Ed Horn can answer. Do you think 3 band members could use this software from different locations, and how do you deal with some of the latency between them? I guess there are some latency adjustments, so it's definitely doable. You're always going to deal with latency, but I would say the latency on this call is not bad, Brian, right?
I don't think so at all. I mean, unless you found that I just responded on an unusually long pause. So I mean, it seems pretty good. Good.
Yeah. All right. So once Doug gets in, Doug's on Doug time. We give Doug a hard time. He's always on Doug time. So, and what's funny is, so Brian, Doug, and I, if those of you who remember Google Plus, we used to sit on Google Plus all night. Remember that?
Yeah, and do this kind of thing.
This
Like,
is like the
wonder
same
how this
thing.
works.
Yeah, it's the same thing all over again.
And undoubtedly, I'm sure the audience would believe this. Lon would be able to figure it out, and Doug and I would just be sitting there scratching our head, like, "Yeah, I don't get it. Can you say it differently? Pretend we're in kindergarten and we don't know
That's
any
right.
of this."
Pretend we're in kindergarten and it's. But I'll tell you what though, this laptop is doing okay. So right now with all this stuff going on, we are at 20% utilization, which means we haven't like impacted the utilization all that much. And what's crazy, let me pull the view up here. The multi-viewer is rendering all this stuff in the background. So the 2 up that we had before, that one's still going. This one's still going, and you can see as I move around, you know, it's rendering all this stuff. And we're barely impacting things. The GPU memory is at 32% right now. So we're getting there, but we still have 2/3 of the way to go here. And so Ed Horn says, Lon can click on the rainbow graph icon in the right corner, and that will show, oh, look at this. So this shows, I don't even know what this stuff means. Source drops, these must be frame drops. And it's giving you some idea of audio latency, it looks like also. So we got 8 drop frames on the bird dog, which is not bad. 9 resyncs, 2 queues. The Spark boxes are dropping a little bit more. And then your call, you dropped 256 frames. But that's to be expected. So I guess my question for Ed Horn would be, is this bad? Because I don't know if it is or it isn't. I never really thought about drop frames on my TriCaster because I was just going all in with direct HDMI connections. And it could also be too that things in the background might be, I haven't like optimized this computer at all. So I've got like this stuff like the Epic Game Store running still. I can get rid of that. I got the Xbox thing going. I got Steam. This is my gaming laptop. So I've got all these things that I never use running in the background on it. And so my plan is to build a PC that is going to, hang on a second. No, just Chrome browser, any platform.
That's Doug.
Yeah, Doug is wondering if he needs to be on his PC or his Mac, but this will work as long as you're using the Chrome browser, it'll let you in. But you have to use Chrome. However, I believe you can call in on an iPhone or an iPad or an Android device using the browser. So now here's the deal with Vmix Call. You have to have, and right now I'm on the demo version, so if you download the demo, you get like 60 days to try it out. If you, yeah, I know I'm giving away the password there. There he is. Okay, now he's in. There's Doug. All right, we got to turn on Doug's audio. Hang on. All right, hello, Doug.
Hey, guys.
How's it going? There he is.
I'm sorry. I was eating ice cream.
No, that's fine. I have interrupted your
important.
evening. I interrupted your evening, so please do not apologize. So we are playing with Vmix. You are being live streamed right now on Amazon and YouTube, Doug.
Cool. I recognize that guy.
Yep. So I figured we would recreate our old Google Plus days where we would, even though
We're getting the band back together.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like, by the way, Chad says they're doing 90-day trials while the COVID thing is going on for Vmix. So the deal with Vmix is that if you are not on like the $700 4K version, you can only bring in 1 caller. But if you have the 4K version, you can have up to 4 callers. So right now I have 2, and so therefore I would need the 4K license to do what I'm doing right now.
Got it.
But if you're on the regular thing, it looks pretty good. Yes, Brian?
Is that, so I'm on their rate card page. Mm-hmm. Is it $700 a month or a year?
One time. You pay $700.
Oh, just one time.
Yeah.
Oh, a non-subscription that I can buy over the internet? That's crazy talk.
Yeah. So, but now, and here's the question. So, one thing I haven't figured out yet is that the license is a year in length, and in reading their website, it looks like you pay like $50 or $60 to re-up. I think that's what they're doing. I'm not sure. So That's the one thing I got to figure out with this.
That language may change.
But
drat.
But
I just gave him an
holy
idea.
cow.
Drat.
But just to show everybody what I've got going here. So we've got all these different inputs going. Like this thing is like going. We got a lot of stuff happening here. So it's but it's working really really nicely.
Holy cow! Well, so I see what I'm looking at now. This is the Vmix. It's kind of blurry on my screen, actually.
Yeah. So and what I did on here, Doug, is you can decide how much bandwidth to send back to the caller.
Yeah.
And I did a minimal amount because I was concerned that I didn't have enough bandwidth to do my stream and have both of you on the call.
Yeah.
And I just want to look at. It's pretty amazing. And I'm just changing one thing here. I want to see what you see when I change the output. So I think I have to configure these outputs, but I could also lock my camera into the output to you. So you would only see me and not see yourself coming back at you.
Yep.
But
nothing wrong with that.
But I'll tell you what, the video from both of you is like super crisp. And you're on your MacBook now, right?
I am. Yeah.
So Brian is on his Logitech webcam, which looks nicer, but that's because it's a better camera.
Sure.
But you don't look that bad.
Yeah. Well, this is relative. I don't know. 4-year-old computer.
Yeah. Now, Doug and Brian, what was the process of setting up that call? Was it just you clicked the link and you were in? That was it?
Click the link, type in your name, and hit whatever it was, send or join or whatever.
I copied the password, but I didn't even need to fill it in anywhere. So.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
It was filled in.
Oh, I can move you around, Doug. Look at that.
Yeah, that is why. And there's another little horizontal me down at the bottom that I see. I don't know if you guys see it.
Oh yeah. So you'll see your thing. Right. You'll see your camera going back to you.
Gotcha.
And you can turn that off, Doug. I found out there's a little ghosty panel on the very bottom that is end call. You can control your camera, turn it on off microphone, and turn off your visual display of yourself. Oh. Yes, in a private little chat window.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh, you get a little chat window there,
very much like Zoom. It's very similar to the Zoom thing.
Yeah. But what's nice is no software. It was just browser based, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we got some answers to some questions in the chat. So $60 a year to renew, no matter what version you're on.
Are we on? Are we on right now?
So I have the viewers looking at the control panel that I'm looking at, but then I can cut back here. Now it's really neat. Yeah.
He didn't curse.
Not know we were live. Hi everyone.
Yeah, and then I can do stuff like. Yeah. I didn't tell you about this about the release, Doug. Yeah. And then what's cool is that I can do these cool effects. So as I'm talking, I can do these merges, which do these really neat. This is great. Incredible. Yeah.
This is way better than Zoom. Like for the idea of like capturing video of an interview with 2 or 3 people. This is like a TV studio. This is like what you see on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. This is and I can go more than this. So it's limited by your hardware. So your GPU, your memory, all that stuff. And now, Doug, we got you set up on Vmix this week. So you bought a laptop. And you're good to go. You got the NVIDIA GPU and you're cooking. So here's the answer on the renewals. $60 a year to renew. Chad says if you buy any Vmix license, you get 1 year of free updates. You can continue to use that major version until the end of time, but any major update after that year will cost a $60 fee, no matter which version you own. So you don't have to renew if you don't want to, but if you want to keep getting updates after the year, then you do $60. That seems pretty reasonable to me. That you're not spending $3,000.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
considering
yeah. Do you still use the new tech? Is that what you're using for your TriCaster?
Yeah, I'm still using the TriCaster. But what's interesting is new tech has gotten into this NDI thing, and so, and I think I told you, Brian, there's no. Now, Doug, I'll show you too, and everybody else watching. Figured out what happened. My Ethernet cable was loose.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
So I'm amazed that we're even still connected.
Yep.
That's pretty great.
And there we go. Okay, my Ethernet cable was loose. I wanted to show everybody the fact that I don't have any capture stuff going into the. I need to buy new Ethernet cables. Is what I need to do. The good news is that we came back. So let me show you another bag of tricks I got here. So this is called the NDI HX camera. And this is, let me cut to this on my iPhone. This is on the iPhone. So,
Wow.
Okay, so you see we got a camera going.
iPhone
Okay. I think I made you buy that, didn't I?
No, it was free.
It was free, that's
was
right.
free.
So this is free right now.
Right.
And so everybody knowing, yeah, you got to keep the Ethernet cable plugged in order to keep your stream up. And so now what I'm going to do here on the iPhone, now because I'm broadcasting out as NDI, I'm going to add another NDI input. So let's go over to NDI. I just got a text message from, nope, it's just telling me to stand up. We're going to go to NDI. And now I have more NDI options. So I'm going to pull up my iPhone. And I'm going to click OK. And now, if I cut to the iPhone, look at that.
Wow.
Echoing.
Hang on. Yeah, it's just you're capturing some audio from your camera, from your phone.
Yeah, this is from my iPhone, and just like that, it comes in as a video source. And just everybody sees, I only have an Ethernet cable attached, nothing else. And so all of this is coming in through the Ethernet cable, and this thing is running the whole show right now.
So this is the NDHX camera.
This is the NDI HX camera. Yeah.
Is it NDI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now here's the thing with
there's a separate app too, right? You need the NDI HX capture, don't you?
Capture and camera. Okay.
So so camera is this. This is the camera app.
Gotcha.
And it works great. It's on Wi-Fi though, and one of the things with NDI, and I'll be corrected in the chat if I am incorrect here, but NDI is a, looks like my Amazon thing just ended, probably because I pulled the Ethernet cable out. Let's see if I can restore the Amazon stream. I may not be able to. So NDI is a UDP protocol, so it doesn't correct itself when frames get dropped or when you have bitrate fallout and that kind of stuff. So you have to just be aware of that it's not going to be perfect. And if you've got like a lot of people on Wi-Fi, that's going to be oops, I forgot to disable that. By the way, what I'm doing here is when you add stuff, you got to make sure, if you don't want the audio from it, you got to turn this setting off. Because that's the follow setting. So now it's just going to do the overlay. So it's not going to be perfect video, but it's good enough video. But if you've got a lot of people on your Wi-Fi connection, it's going to drop out on you. So the performance is not as good as a full Ethernet connection. But again, we're single cable. That's it, and we don't want to get that cable too loose, otherwise the stream knocks out. So.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Is this just for PC or is it also for Mac?
So this is for this is only an iOS app, so it's only on iOS. And what I'll do here is I'll turn it off. And now let me just close this one. Let me demo the other app. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy my stream here and just finish up on because the Amazon people just missed out on a whole bunch of stuff. So let me just go and preview.
You know, Brian, we had I think we tried this on, I don't know why we got the PC line. Did this not work on the Vmix? The laptop app is not for Mac though, right?
That's okay. Right. So Vmix is not on the Mac, right? It's only on Windows.
But these are phone app for iOS.
Yeah. And that's those are because I downloaded at Doug's haste like last week or the week before. So you have to go get these two apps. I'll explain it to you later. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
They're free right now.
They're just gonna hang it out on my phone. I'm like,
so
this is
I
what
didn't
they're
tell you they don't
for.
do anything. I'm sorry.
So
just
here is
to spy on you.
Yes, I'm going to broadcast my. It's okay. I'm going to broadcast my iPhone here. So there we go. We've got this going, and I'm going to add an input, and we're going to go back to NDI again. And you don't have to load the app up. You can actually do it through the screen recording interface. And let's go over to NDI desktop capture. And now we've got my iPhone should show up here. Yep, here we go, display. Okay, and let's wait for that to queue up, and boom. So now you have your iPhone running on your computer. So I can scroll through.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's connected Bluetooth.
Nope, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yep. So it just takes whatever's on your screen and pushes it out.
Okay. So yeah, Wi-Fi demands for this whole thing are pretty steep.
Yeah, look what I did today. Look how good I was. I took a nice walk with the
Nice.
dog. See that?
There you go.
Look at all you. Look at how many rings you're closed. I don't know what happened that whatever that is, Monday or something. But
This was today. This was today.
good for you.
I had a good day today. So you've got that. I can do here. Let's take a look at some a little video or something here. So if I'm playing this video here, it'll do the resizing automatically. The only thing that you get on so this is like this is a 4K video that's playing on my phone, but it doesn't fill the screen up. That's the only issue with it. But that works too.
There are worse issues.
And look at the latency. It's like non-existent. You know, as I'm playing
Yeah.
around with this, as you can see it on the screen here. You know, it's like super quick.
It's just, I gotta say, Vmix is just so much better to use than the last software, the free version of, I forgot the name of it, something.
OBS.
OBS.
And
OBS.
And OBS is good. You know, I think
And it works,
OBS
it
is
worked, but
yeah.
I struggled with it because it was not as robust. It just wasn't.
There's a stability here that is not present on the other thing. One last thing I want to show everybody, because I know you guys have kids as I do. My kids are not home at the moment, so they will be soon.
4 minutes to bedtime.
Oh,
All right,
so lucky.
my bed. You see, what I should do is I should get into bed now before they get home, and then I'm like,
Brilliant.
that's what I'm going to do. You know, then I'm like, I'm good to go. All right, so we're going to cut over to the view here. Recording is the last thing I wanted to talk about because if you want to edit later, and this is from talking to my friend, the Vmix AVI format is what you want to use. And you can do all sorts of stuff here. And you can set it so that there's
You're talking about a file type?
Yeah, file type. Now, if you have Adobe Premiere and you have Vmix installed, then what will happen here is you will get a file that you can drop right into your editing software with no conversion or transcoding. It will record at the best possible quality that Vmix can record with based on what you're bringing in. That's my understanding. But on the Mac, you got to convert it over to another format, which is ProRes, and they have a conversion app so you can grab those files and convert them later. So that's what I've got to play with a little bit next. But that's the workflow. So I'm just setting up for my interview tomorrow. So Doug, we're going to have the antibody guys on tomorrow.
That's great.
So I will hopefully have that ready to go. Yeah, so it'll be a good discussion. So we've got all of that. So yeah, this is
Lon is bringing in some antibodies live.
the antibodies. Yeah,
They can't be in studio with him because they're antibody.
that's right. They're disembodied, the antibodies. We have a few more questions here in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Are there other scenarios with Vmix that could be useful that are quite similar to Wirecast? So Wirecast is another one that people use. I think Wirecast, if I'm not mistaken, is on the Mac. I'm pretty sure.
I have it on Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some good software out there. And what's happened is that as these CPUs and GPUs have gotten more powerful, you can really replicate a full production switcher on a laptop if you got the right hardware. And Doug, like what we're doing here, like this is 20% of mine. This might be 35% or 40% of yours doing all this. So you know what I mean? It's not a big thing. Steve Minnick is asking how many local inputs can it handle. So my understanding is that if you get one of the beyond the basic packages, it can do 1,000 inputs. But it's going to vary based on your hardware. So if your hardware can't handle more than 10, so the reality is probably, depending on your hardware, probably 15 if you have a beefy system.
Yeah.
And then there's unlimited NDI inputs, Ed says, as well. So good stuff. But yeah, we've been doing this whole stream with 0 capture boards going on there. So
with like
good stuff.
two sessions of like training from Lon, we started the rebroadcasting live press conferences with our logo and audio and pushing it out to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all at once. And it has changed the dynamic for our publication on social media fairly quickly because of the higher value placed on notifications, or the higher notification rate of live video. So it really wasn't that hard either. Once Lon showed me 2 or 3 times, I got it.
And what's cool is that for what we're doing with Doug's project, because what they're doing is he has a everybody should go to ctnewsjunkie.com. That's Doug's site. They cover Connecticut news, Connecticut politics, and whatnot. And every day the governor has a press conference, so they grab the feed from Connecticut's version of CTN from YouTube, and then put as a pool feed, and they broadcast it back out.
Yeah.
The way you can do that is through they have like this web browser interface. So you can, and this is on OBS also, but it works much better.
Right.
On here. So I can grab a YouTube URL here. I got one. I think this might have been the one we did the other day. You can click on that. It just pulls it up and it just runs. It's been seamless. You can do that on OBS also, but it's nice to have it, kind of integrated in there. So
yeah, the trick with OBS on the Mac was that we couldn't get the browser audio direct. It was taking the speaker audio from your laptop, and it sounded tinny and terrible.
Right,
and then it would pick up any conversations in the room, which was embarrassing.
Yeah, right. You got to be careful with that.
Vmix actually pulls in the browser audio with no trouble, at least on the PC.
Yep.
That's really great. I mean, this is just like a game changer for a lot of small
it's
content creators. Yeah.
And you buy a $700 laptop and you're in business. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, everybody. Well, I don't want to keep you all. My crew just arrived back home, so I need to begin the march to bedtime. Oh, I think there's baths going on tonight too. So it's going to be a good one tonight.
Street fight. It's going to be a street fight.
Exactly. It's going to be a street fight. Exactly. Yep. So, well, I want to thank you all for helping me out here a little bit. And what I will do is if you guys need help, let me know. And I appreciate your time this evening. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I've got some thank yous here. We have Brian, by the way, thank you for your super chat, your super sticker. That was what you contributed, so thank you. David Parker contributed $5. Thank you very much. And Laji KGR, $9.99. Thank you all for your support of the channel. And I will see you all soon. So I don't know how to hang up on you two. I guess you can just disconnect.
We'll just
handle
disconnect.
that.
Okay.
Good to see you guys.
Ciao.
All right. We'll see you in a little
Bye-bye.
bit. Thanks, everybody. All right. So we're going to, here, let's get so it looks like they just kind of freeze there, and we'll merge myself back in. And yeah, pretty good stuff. I got like 4 minutes before I'm going to be summoned upstairs to deal with bath time. Dave for Shmups, for scanning photos, should I scan them as bitmap, JPEG, or TIFF? I would say TIFF, just because that's an uncompressed format. So I would do that. Steve Minnick says, do you recommend any video capture cards? I like the Elgato stuff. I have a Elgato Cam Link, which unfortunately now you can't get at the moment, but those are really good. So that's one I would definitely check out. So I like that one. There's some other ones. Magwell makes a nice one. That one's got built-in compression, so it works with lower-powered computers. So that one's a pretty good one, USB. And then Elgato makes, and AverMedia makes these too. They're PCI Express cards that you can actually pop into your PC and use those as capture. So as we start, because I'm going to totally start playing around with Vmix as my, so this week, so here's my plan for this week. I'm going to run the channel this week off of Vmix to see if it can do everything. And if it does, then I'm probably going to build a Vmix PC to handle the channel. I'm going to be like a super minimal Windows 10 installation and just let it rip. Because I have my my old 1080 card from my gaming PC, which is perfect for this. So I'm going to use it for that. Yeah, so as people are discovering, the video quality that Amazon is able to do is much better than YouTube. And I am giving them the exact same feed. This is like, it's sending out, it's basically, encoding it and pushing it out. And it's the same on both platforms. But the Amazon feed just looks better. And I think it's because there's less people streaming to Amazon. So there's only a handful of us that do. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this is working. No question, this is really good stuff. I think, I'm just trying to see if I want to, I'm just trying to get this set up for tomorrow. Yes, I can leave these intact here, these calls. Yeah, good. All right. Ed Horn says Blackmagic has deck link cards. Oh, yeah, that's right. Asia has stuff. Yeah, the capture cards are expensive, like really pricey. And that's why I like the NDI stuff. And the NDI stuff isn't cheap, like this bird dog thing is, $500, but it's rock solid when you have a camera plugged into it, and it's powered over Ethernet. So this is all PoE, which is really helpful. So I've got a PoE switch that I'll just kind of bring in, and let me get another one of these. I'm also contemplating going to 4K for production, so that's been another thing I've been contemplating there. So. Mjaffer wants to know the cheapest way to get HDMI into Vmix. So I would say one of those, right now it's not, but those Cam Link adapters are probably the cheapest. There is, if you go on Amazon, click over to my Amazon link I have on the product shuffle. There is a capture device from Aver that's not that expensive. It's like $170, and that could work. The Blackmagic monitor recorder is Ed's recommendation, $150. So that's pretty good there. Jai wants to know what laptop or desktop can you use to set up. So it's a matter of how much you're going to do. So my advice would be to go and grab the demo of Vmix. Now OBS works great on just an Intel processor. Vmix is really pushing you to go with an NVIDIA GPU. So my advice would be to grab the demo. The demo is the full $700+ version. Play around with it and see how it works for you, and then you can figure out if the PC is going to work. But really, like on the low end, even a fairly, like a 5th or 6th generation i5 might be enough, I think. And really, it's a matter of what you're going to do with it. If you start bringing in all these, these multi-layered things and whatnot, that might change the dynamic a little bit. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is coming together tonight here. The only thing, and what's nice too, is that on my TriCaster, I can only do 4 things. This I can have a bunch of things set up. So that's been really, really helpful there. And I can hear them upstairs. They're going to come looking for me. They invaded my space over the weekend. But yeah, we're good to go. We can just blast out the wrap up here. I can just do my weekly wrap up. Boom, just like that. And what I want to do here, though, is I just want to make that. I think that thing is just a little bit too big. So I'm just going to, here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Again, I just want to have everything ready to go for tomorrow. So the family was out for some outdoor time, and I was like, I'm going to use this opportunity to get ready for tomorrow, so I'm not rushing in the morning. Because whenever I got like guests coming on, I want to be ready for them when they come in. So just make that a little bit smaller there, and we can position that right there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I just have to figure out I keep hitting the space bar is like stopping the video thing, so I just have to fix that. But yeah, looks good. And then what I can do, so what I usually do when I do the wrap up is I just do a cut like that and go to our super chatters. I'm gonna have to add a few more from tonight. I can cut back this way. And I could even do fancier stuff now too. I could do the merge. That's awesome. Isn't that cool? I love that. All in real time. Good stuff. Okay. Ed Horn says, wait until you start adding things on the fly. You don't have to reboot to do graphics like you do. Yeah, there's a lot that I can do on this. And Travis wrote, try out the new GPU you got with the new NVIDIA encoder. Yeah, I got to start playing. You guys are going to start getting me really down rabbit holes here. I can add clocks and use databases for graphics. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I'm going to be going nuts with this. And remember to save. That is a very good point because it won't remind me. So I'm going to save right now because I have everything how I want it. I'm going to overwrite the one I've got. And I think that's it. So, okay. All right, everybody. Well, I am tickled pink about how this is working. So I am going to probably call it an evening, but I really appreciate everybody popping in because this was helpful for me to figure out if this is going to be a workable option. It seems like it might be. And I am going to start my project for tomorrow, which is we're going to have an interview. Let's do this cool merge thing again. We're going to have an interview that I'm shooting tomorrow morning with some guys that do antibody testing. Because I got an antibody test and I was negative. And for those of you who have not been following my woes, when I got back from CES, I was not feeling well. I had a fever and everything else, and then everyone that was coming in contact with me was getting sick also. And so I didn't think anything of it because everybody gets sick at CES, so I thought that was just, I just got sick at CES. But apparently a lot of people were getting sick who came in touch with me, so they all started thinking maybe we already had the coronavirus, but we did not. At least I didn't. They may have, and maybe I didn't get them sick, so that could be how that works. But good stuff. This thing's great. Can't believe how good this works. It's almost like magic that you can do this on a PC, and that you could do this on a PC that doesn't even cost all that much money either. So that's what's really cool about it. Okay. Well, I am going to call it a night, everybody. I've got to go help the family with bath time. But I greatly appreciate you all popping in and helping me out here as I've been getting some stuff set up for tomorrow. And I will be streaming again very soon. So Chad says I can also use the multi-quarter so I can record each caller separately. All right, that's a good idea. So I'm going to play with that too. So I'm going to have to set up that multi-quarter. Oh, I see. I have 2 recorders available for me. So I can put the caller on the other one. And, oh, you know what? The one thing that I haven't yet done, my wife's going to kill me in a minute. I need to figure out where to set the output options. So let me pull up outputs. Oh, I see. Okay, so here, let me show you what I'm looking at, everybody. Here, let me cancel this so you can see. So if we go over to settings, and I go to outputs, oh, I see. So I can set 1 and 2. Wow. Look at all these different, and see, because it supports, so I got 300 different inputs here. So output 1 right now is the output, which is what you want. But I could say output 2 could be just my camera, so that if I want to shoot my camera over to the caller, I can do that. You can decide to have, so you can have a clean recording with no overlays. Isn't that cool? Wow. Yeah, there is some like serious rabbit holes you could go down with this. And then if I click on this, it's available as NDI for other sources on the network. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to spend a whole like another hour just on this screen. And customize the layout. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm not going to get into this now because I'm going to be down here all night. This is great. Well, I am very happy with this. I'll save this again. Actually, I'm not going to save it because I want to fix it tomorrow. But yeah, okay, I got to go. Thank you, everybody. I will be back in streaming very shortly, and maybe we'll come back and play around with this a bit more because this was kind of fun, and I'm glad you all enjoyed watching me tinker with it. Okay, I will talk to you all soon. Good night for now. It's time for bath time. Bye-bye.